Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So dear Dhamma friends, when we practice meditation, and there are mainly two mental cultures we develop: tranquility meditation and insight meditation. So the tranquility meditation is the meditation that develop to calm down, relax our mind, and keep our mind in one point. And Vipassana meditation is the meditation deeply observe and recognize how things come to be as they are. So these two mental cultures we develop in different ways, but somehow here we take breathing as our mental object. So in the beginning we calm down our body, calm down our mind, calm down, relax, breathing, and then observe the inhalation exhalation as it is. In the first level, recognize inhalation, exhalation separately. This is inhalation, this is exhalation. And then this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is all, follow the entire continuation. And the third step, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So like that, then slowly you start to recognize that without trying to maintain, you accept the whatever the inhalation, exhalation. So today I want to mention, when it comes to Vipassana meditation, mainly there are 4 different ways we develop the mind. It called 4 foundation for the concentration or the sati sampajanya or clear comprehension. 4 foundation. What are those? Observing the bodily sensation and the feelings and the postures and the mind. So, and the Dhamma. The Dhamma means the very nature of the body, how the body behave itself. So, when it comes to 4 foundation, when you observe the 4 foundation, try to recognize this all the 4 methods within your inhalation, exhalation. It's Kaya-anupassana, Vedana-anupassana, Chitta-anupassana, Dhamma-anupassana. So when you observe inhalation, exhalation in the first level, that your breathing happen according to the bodily action. It is not a mental action. So the body itself follow the inhalation, the maintain the inhalation, exhalation. So then it develop the Kaya-anupassana. Another thing is that Chitta-anupassana, deeply the condition of the mind depend according to the condition of the inhalation, exhalation. So as example, when it comes to a long inhalation or the heavy inhalation, sometimes your mind become busy and sometimes your mind become tired. So according to the condition of the inhalation, exhalation, your mind become more relaxed and calm. Another thing is that the feelings. When you observe the inhalation, exhalation, there is a sensation. So you recognize that sensation, and that Recognition itself help you to recognize the nature of the feelings. Another one is the Dhamma, very nature of the body. So this everything moment by moment change without any effort. And each and everything depending on the Dhamma related with its own condition. See, observing that, this you get into these four foundations when you observe the inhalation, exhalation. So that is what today we're going to slowly observe. So keep relax your body and your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And keep relax your body. Bring your attention to your body and observe head to toes yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. So all the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. And we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. So in this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. And just try to remain in the present moment, observing your inhalation, exhalation. So bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. So deeply inhale, exhale 3 times and find the sensation. So in the beginning, just recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Allow everything to settle down as it is. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Now this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize it. So within inhalation, exhalation, experience the four foundations, recognize separately. When you observe the inhalation, exhalation, how it related with the contemplating the body, because your respiration happen related with the body. And recognize the sensation and relate it with the feelings. When you develop the concentration and stay with the inhalation, exhalation, which your mind settle down with contemplating your mind, your thoughts. In your body, there are certain things react according to the nature. Like for example, when you eat, you digest your food, blood circulation, even inside your body, air move in different ways. Establish the foundation. In the beginning, recognize one by one, but when your awareness becomes sharper, clear, in one experience, you may see this all four foundations in front of your inhalation, exhalation. Contemplating the body, contemplating the feelings, contemplating the mind or the thoughts, contemplating the nature or the Dhamma. When your inhalation, exhalation happens, within that inhalation, exhalation, experience these four foundations. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Don't bring your thoughts to your experience. Completely be free, empty, with very clear mind. Observe and recognize. So bring attention to your body. Observe head to toes. Cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart. So mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. So visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside. to your left side and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy. Without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. This is sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, if you look very carefully in your life, if you have opportunity to look something and to get education or learn about something, what is the most highest thing that you can get educate yourself? So that is yourself and recognizing who you are. So that is what called self-realization. And get into that sometimes. People use many methods. That so self, once you recognize who you are, that is where your total satisfaction going to happen. So otherwise, whatever you do, it never going to come to the total satisfaction. So when it come to that, sometimes people say Buddhism is an art of living. So when you look at the art, what is the art mean? So the art mean you put everything 100% according to exactly where it should be. If we are able to put something like that, people do it with the colors, people do it with the bodily movements, and people do with the music, and people do with the clay. So whatever exactly 100%, if you able to bring it to where it should be, that is the very nature of the art. So then why it say art of living? So when you able to bring your life exactly 100% to the level of where it should be, how it should function, and related it to your bodily, verbally, or mentally action. And that is the art of living. So, to get into that, the main important thing you need self-realization, recognizing who you are. Otherwise, when you have some different idea regarding you, so whatever come out of your bodily, verbally, or mental actions can take you to different direction or can create certain kind of feedback, which we call karma, or the reaction or the result, which you're going to get into more difficulties. But the very nature of the art of living, when you recognize that who you are with that self-realization, when you use your bodily, verbally, or mentally actions, it always become a profitable action, and it always come out of the greed, hatred, or the delusion. And that way, whatever the feedback come, it never related with the greed, hatred, or the delusion. So if you are able to develop that again and again, little by little, again and again, that is the perfect way to live. That's why it's called art of living. And it is not only for you. It is just not on the only self-based lifestyle. When you start to function like that way, when you come out of the greed, hatred, or the delusion, from these three things, even though we name one by one like this, in the deeper level, you have to remember when you act, you have to act using this all three things as one. You cannot keep the greed and start to go without anger and feeding to greed. That is the mistake sometimes we do. And we just think, oh, I am not get angry. I don't have any illusion. I am practicing, I am listening, but greed, you feeding to greed. Now, when you eliminate, when you take out this, all the three things you have to take out at once. So you have to practice little by little. So it like say that when we live a life, mostly like as example, when you watch a movie. So to bring it the highest result, to get the complete satisfaction, when you watch the movie, at the same time, the sound should appear at the same time according to the pictures, and the color separation and the frame should appear according to the sound, and according to the story, the whatever they create. And it cannot come the story that just the jump first and then the pictures come later. It cannot happen like that way. So, but when this everything come together, when you watch, it brings you the complete satisfaction. It is not one by one. You cannot think, oh, I watched the movie now, but I listen to the voice later. Oh, I want to first listen the voice and then I watch the pictures. No, you don't do like that. The same thing, when you practice the Dhamma, remember, the mistake we just try only one thing maybe. And even when it come to Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and moral discipline and tranquility state of the mind, and the deeper understanding, or the vipassana level of understanding, we just thinking, okay, I first practice little bit moral discipline, sila, and later I practice meditation. So today I do just only the tranquility state, and later I'll practice vipassana. No, these all three things you have to use at once to get the right result. Remember this. Even the Eightfold Path the same. That's why today we cannot get to see the people getting result out of the Dharma. Why? Because we just practice part by part. Nothing wrong with it. But to get the maximum highest effort, you have to practice this everything as one. So same with the greed, hatred, and the delusion. If you can bring a bodily or verbally or mental action eliminating greed, hatred, and the delusion, these three things, that action going to be good for you, and also it going to be good for entire universe. And not only that, it going to be not going to bring any that the result, the wrong result or the bad result to the future. See, sometimes our ancestors took decisions, but that decisions on the way in the journey of this life today create certain kind of difficult situations to people who ever live in the present moment. If that decision was very clear, and if that decision is not related with any greed, hatred, or the delusion, there is no way on the way in the journey it can create any kind of difficulties. So ourselves the same. If you look yourself, whatever the decision you took in the past, sometimes today going to give you hard time. Then you become worried. Oh, why I did that? Oh, why I say so? So like that. And maybe the whatever you do today and has ability to bring certain kind of difficulties to future also. So that's why when you have the self-realization, when you become very clear with the self, it's not going to happen within yourself. That's why it's called art of living. Because in that art of living, whatever you put as a bodily, mentally, or verbally action, it is exactly 100% accurate, right? It never going to bring any kind of wrong feedback or the karma. So then you have to put some effort to do that. So when we do that way, mostly we try to think about it. So thinking like that, or reading some books, or following someone else's ideas, you cannot get into that realization. Why you miss that realization? Why you have to find it? That is what first you have to look. How you lost it. So on the way in this journey of life, how you lost who you are? Because if it is not there, you cannot find it. But even the Buddha himself, before he attained to the Buddhahood, one of the main reason in the samsaric journey, through the Arya Pariyeshana, the great research what he has done, the self-realization. In the first 20 years of his Dhamma, the very main purpose, all the followers had one of the main purpose is self-realization. So that means we lost it somewhere. Otherwise, you cannot find it. So then you have to look where we lost it. Where you lost it. We lost it in our thoughts. That is what come out of as a believing, or our self-view, or our understanding, or our culture, tradition. That is where we lost who we are. Why? Because that is what built our life. So then yourself, when you start to look for yourself, who you are, real being itself, then you have to take out this all the culture, tradition, believing system, thoughts, pattern, these things. But rather than taking out, what we does, when we look for the freedom or the salvation, we start to think about it. See where we go wrong? Because we lost it because of the thinking pattern and believing that we can find it, we again use our mind. It's like in the middle of the war, you misfire with your own group and you kill each other. The same thing happening. We misfire ourselves when we look for the salvation or the liberation or the understanding or the clarity, even the peace, harmony, tranquility state within yourself. What we does? We start to think about it. But when you look very carefully, how you lost it? You lost because of your mind, because of your thoughts. Somewhere somebody put those, maybe you put certain. So now to get into that, what you do, you put the same thing again. So you lost it because of the thoughts, then now you find it, you use the thought. What is happening then? The thought pattern, it accelerate inside, it become higher speed, stronger. That is itself called sansara. There is nothing beyond your thoughts in sansara. So because there are three kind of desires, kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. This all appear with the mental formations. There is nothing beyond your mind. This everything that your sansara means your thought patterns. So once you come out of the thoughts, you not belong to sansara. But we as human beings, we used to think and we used to be with thoughts. And sometimes some people get disappointed. How we come out of the thoughts? Because that is what give us the life. That is how we grow with the thoughts. It seems like you certain things, you have habit to hold things. You know, sometimes even while you sleeping, you keep it close to you. And sometimes if somebody try to take it, that person get afraid, disappointed. Why? Because you addicted to be with it. So same like your thoughts, but in a deeper level, in the four foundations, Kaya Anupassana, observing the body and the bodily behavior, Vedana Anupassana, observing contemplating the sensation, Chitta Anupassana, contemplating the mind in four foundations. See, that's why to get into self-realization, that's why Buddha mentioned this four foundation, not any magics, not any other anything. They use the body itself, not anything from outside. In the Vipassana, you don't use that things. No, you use your own body, even not someone else. You observing your own body, your own bodily behavior, your own sensation, your own thoughts, your own nature. So you cannot deny it because it's you. So that is where the clarity arises. There's no doubt when you observe that, but when you observe something from outside, you and the subject and the object, there is a gap. That in between that gap, maybe there is a doubt arise. But when you come to your own observation, there is no gap, there is no doubt. That is where the clarity arises. So when you observe the thoughts, you recognize him, this thought arising, disappearing, arising, disappearing. And thought arise without any reason sometimes. But we have a nature. We always think, oh, everything has a reason. Of course, everything has a reason. But it may be not related to your purpose. You don't see that. But if it is not related to your purpose, even though it has a reason itself, what's the point? So once it comes to self-realization, then observe the very nature of the thoughts, knowingly that the thought create this situation, and because of thoughts we lost that. And that is where you become very careful not to use the thoughts. And that is where you come to clear observation. When you have that clarity, that observation yourself, without thoughts, you let go thoughts. Why? Because now you know you lost because of the thoughts. And now you become very careful when you use the mind not to interfere the thoughts. And you observe without thoughts. And little by little, you have to practice it. And then in a certain level, your mind able to exist with the recognition. The recognition itself become your understanding. That is where the thought disappear. When you see something, to understand that, sometimes you need thoughts. So that's why you say thinking. But there is a moment come when you develop the clear comprehension, sati sampajanya, clear awareness, in a certain level, direct perception. There is no, in the middle, there is no thought to think. Just recognition itself become understanding. The appearance itself become understanding. In that very moment, there is no thoughts, but recognition happen. That is where the real you going to function. In that moment, whatever the bodily, verbally, or mental action you perform with the highest effort, with the maximum effort, with the clear understanding, and without greed, hatred, or the delusion, you will see the beauty of life. So that is what called art of living. So just these ordinary people use art of living just as a word. They don't experience it. If we just look, if our world, ourselves, look at around us, look at our culture, our society, our city, our state, our country, our people, if they use this art of living, how this kind of chaos can arise? If our ancestors, most of the leaders or the gurus or the teachers, even the lot of monks, if they use this exactly right way, how as a result of their actions, how this kind of situations arise? As you know, there are a lot of great leaders, great masters. They took certain decisions. And the whole entire human civilizations pay for that today because of their decisions. Our country leaders, certain leaders, took certain decisions in the past. Even in the future, more generations has to pay for their decisions. How it is possible? If they had this art of living, it never going to happen like that way. It go other side. Whoever waiting to come to this world itself, they are going to be secure, they're going to be safe, no harm going to happen to them. But look today, how about within another next generation? Even if you die again, if you won't come to this world, how you can guarantee? How we can guarantee, oh, we can come without any harm? Why? Because every day, all over the world, the abortion become the day by day, the rates go high. You can see it. The mothers themselves, the fathers, kill themselves, their own children. So then how about that you, when you want to come back, it's very difficult for you to find a mother. Why? Because if you find the wrong mother, maybe she will wash you and then you will come back. So that's why art of living means when you perform that, even for the next generations, it develop a comfortable environment, not only even human for us. Look at how danger today this entire, the nature, all the animals. If the beautiful animals in around your neighborhood, very next day it's going to be very dangerous because of the humans. If there is a lion in the jungle, if there is a tiger in the jungle, if there is a beautiful bird in the jungle, if the deer with the beautiful horns with the jungle, the very next day, if they contact with the human eye, they have the danger with the death. Why? Because people kill them. They go to these old African countries and killing. And the tuskers, and if the elephant have beautiful tuskers, very next day, if they contact the human eyes, the very next day they have danger with the death. That is where we are. So then we have to think, oh, it's art of living, oh, Buddhism, art of living. But look ourselves. If it is the art of living with our bodily, verbally, or mentally action, we have to perform our best, not our worst. So then why we cannot bring it that? Because we lost in our thoughts. So that's why we follow in generation to generation thoughts, and as parents we try to feed the thoughts to our children and then they go with it. So that's why then remember yourself, get into art. Self-realization is the core epicenter of the Buddha's teaching. And for getting to that, we lost it because of our thoughts, and get into that and start to come out of the thoughts. That is why we use these 4 foundations, not for any other reason. Not to argue with anybody, not to prove somebody wrong, no. Not to fight with anybody, no. To recognize who we are. Once you recognize that, you have ability to live a life, and that life itself is like an art of living. So that is what called art of living. So there was a teacher, there was a person, and he introduced new religion. And everything he wrote down in books. And then he got certain few followers. And then what is the main teachings, the rituals? Without reading the book, and you have no rights to perform. So always you have to follow the books. So whatever you want to do, and look the book and read the book, and then according to that, just react. So the students, followers so it's very easy, because then we no need to think about anything. And right away they took the books, and so whatever have to do, little things, it's on the book, and they became so happy. And the followers start to, that do it 100% accurate, and they don't want to break that rule. Now why? Because there's nothing to worry about anything. It's everything in the book. Whatever they want to do, they go and read the book and do that. That's it. So somehow now the followers little by little became, their group became a little bit bigger. And then one day with the teacher, they went a journey from village to another village. And there was a river, and they have to cross the river. And to cross the river, there was a huge piece of wood, and they have to go through this wood and get into other side. So the teacher go first, and what happened? He fell down to the water, And now he asked, help, help, help. And the student, what they did, took the book and start to look, and they couldn't find. In that book, there is nothing say if the teacher fell down to the water, what will happen? And they don't want to do anything. Why? Because they condition their mind not to do anything beyond the book. And the teacher died. The same thing happened to us. See, sometimes when situations come, then as example, that when this virus situation came, there are a lot of business bankrupt and situations happen. And then they claim insurance. And then what the insurance told? There's nothing regarding this virus situation in their policy. So because of that, they cannot pay. So the same like that. The same thing happened to us in day-to-day life. When we go with always beyond the common sense, we go with this all the ways following something. And always following something, we become debtor to that, and then somewhere we're going to get stuck. Many situations you can see. And when there is no law, when there's nothing in papers, people cannot do anything. But in your life, what the Buddha said, when you have the clear comprehension, sati sampajana, clear mind, you are able to recognize how things come to be as they are. In that very moment, you to react, to do exactly what is right, to do that, you no need any guidance. Why? Because the appearance or the contact itself bring the understanding. That understanding will lead you to the clear bodily, verbally, or mentally action. When we lost that our mind, that's why we need always papers. That's why we need the law. That's why we need the something somewhere to write down. So otherwise, if we have the clear comprehension, you free from this all. So to go to samsara, remember, you need the memory. But to go to nibbana, you don't need the memory. You need the sati. That means clear comprehension, clear awareness. So try to recognize that two different and try to develop whatever is you like. So with that, I bless upon everyone. By the power of this soul, good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idamme punya kammang asavattaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pancatu.